Welcome back. SAA is helping South Africans stuck in lockdown all over the world to reunite with their family back home here in South Africa. eNCA's Heidi Giokos is at the SAA headquarters in Kempton Park to get an update of the entire process. Heidi, we saw a flight arrive yesterday evening in Cape Town with a couple of South Africans from London. Did that process go down smoothly?
Yes, indeed, Annalise. So we do understand that SAA has been part of a whole repatriation process where they've been flying out to assist stranded foreign nationals here in South Africa. But let's get more clarity on this. We are joined by spokesperson Tladi. Thanks so much for your time. Perhaps let's speak about the fact that SAA did have about 18 flights that were set to take off in the last 2 weeks. How has that process gone? Are all the 18 flights done?
Thank you for the opportunity. Since the implementation of the travel ban, as well as the lockdown measures that were subsequently implemented, SAA received a lot of inquiries from foreign governments who were requesting us to provide a service in the form of a repatriation of the foreign nationals to their respective home countries. At the time when we started with these flights, we had scheduled and planned to operate a total of 18 flights. However, we can indicate that we have so far operated 18 flights in all, plus 2 charter services. The 18 are passenger flights that we have operated to various regions in the world, including in Europe, Brazil, as well as in other parts of the world.
And then just speak to us about what the next 2 weeks look like, or just the next week, in terms of the flights that SAA will be operating. Will it be repatriation, or will it also include cargo flights?
These are repatriation charter flights. When we say that we are repatriating, it means that we are transferring as South Africans who could be elsewhere in the world coming back home, or foreign nationals who are in South Africa who need to go back to their home countries. And these particular flights are managed on the basis of the relationship between us as an airline that is providing a service and on behalf of the respective governments that are requesting this particular service from us. So on the basis of the plans that are in place, we are operating both passenger services, as we have indicated that 18 of them have operated thus far, and 2 cargo flights. So we are also operating and focusing on the cargo side of things. In the same way as South Africa is able to receive goods that are coming from elsewhere in the world, South Africans are also able to produce products and goods that are able to be sent throughout the world through these cargo flights. To date, we have been able to transport a total of 334,000 kilograms of cargo and receive 184,000 kilograms of cargo that was inbound. This morning, there was yet another arrival of a cargo aeroplane that arrived from China that was bringing a number of supplies, including pharmaceutical supplies, medical supplies, as well as the COVID-19 testing kits.
Oh, wow. Okay. Speak to us quickly about where SAA will be flying to in the next week, if you're able to say so. And then just indicate to us in terms of any repatriation flights that will be happening on the African continent. I've been speaking to a number of stranded South Africans on the African continent, and they're saying that they're not sure whether or not there will be any repatriation. They're seeing it in Germany, in London, in Brazil, but nothing yet in Africa.
In the next 7 days, we have planned to operate a number of flights. 7 flights are scheduled to operate to Germany as well as the United States. In the case of the United States, we will be repatriating on a private basis a group of South Africans, 310 of them who will be flown from Miami in the U.S. to Cape Town. That is done on a chartered basis, and we will be operating 7 others to Germany. We emphasize that these are charter services, and for us to enable this service to be available to anyone, they need to make contact with their respective embassies, where they are able to coordinate the numbers, feed and share information with us so that we are able to finalize the plans.
Okay, and then just lastly, Gladys, many people are indicating that they need to pay for these flights to come back. So there's an indication that when SAA flies to Germany to leave these foreign nationals that are stuck here back in Germany or wherever it may be, there's a perception that these South Africans can board the flight and come back. Just explain to us in terms of, do they need to pay for these tickets to come back? How does that whole process work?
The answer is it depends. For example, let's take an example of repatriation flights to Germany. Our customer and client was the Federal Republic of Germany through the embassy in South Africa, who entered into a commercial agreement with the airline. So from a payment of cost point of view, it is the embassy that takes the responsibility for the payment of the operating costs on that particular flight. There may be an arrangement between the embassy or any foreign government as well as the passengers who are going to travel on board that particular flight. We emphasize that these are chartered. It means that there's a cost that is involved, and we continue to look for opportunities where there may be interest for people who want to be provided with this kind of a service. Hence, we emphasize the point that anyone else, anywhere else in the world, they need to make contact with their respective embassies who will be able to manage and facilitate that kind of information. We can also indicate that insofar as Africa is concerned, we will be operating flights, we will be picking up passengers in Rwanda tomorrow morning, bringing them back to South Africa. There are also plans to also pick up passengers in West Africa, including Ghana and one other destination.
Okay, and then just lastly, I think I'm going to push you a little more. It's been a tough time for SAA. And they seem to be, the airline seems to be very busy at this stage. But just to get further clarity, this means that when you say pick up, it means that these South Africans will have to purchase a ticket to get onto that flight. It's not a free ride. It's not a repatriation process where the South African government is paying. Each individual is responsible for their own ticket.
Repatriation means that we are bringing them home in the case of South Africans. However, the detail lies in the arrangement that will have been struck and reached between respective governments. In this case, if any of our missions abroad are responsible for the coordination and the repatriation of the charter, it means that the South African government will also carry the cost, but the government may also want to have a process of getting certain amounts of money from the passengers who are going to travel. I think the reality of the situation is that we are a commercial airline. Even when we do these repatriation flights on behalf of foreign governments, there is cost that is involved because those are the principles of operating a commercial airline.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for your time, Gladys. We appreciate it. So there you have it, Annelie. I think just some clarity for many South Africans here at home and stuck abroad, just in terms of the repatriation process and who's responsible for that ticket and where SAA will be flying to. It seems they are going to be very busy in the next coming weeks.